goes up, we actually have more range than melee by 9 to 7. Can you believe that?
That's a first.
Too bad he's quitting after a month and a half.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Anyways, go over a couple things real quick with you guys, and then Zeke's going to take it over from here. So we're going to change this BOE thing a little bit, where when the BOE drops, and just so everybody knows that maybe new or doesn't understand, if you are part of the raid group and the core progression group, or even if you're a sub raider, we basically give you about, depending on your rank, you should be at least getting about 1,250 day in available repairs. Not that you need them every day, okay? Not that you need to withdraw that much every day. That's a trust thing, okay? And we provide gems, chants, food buffs, drums, tomes, pre-pots, cauldron, feasts, etc. These things ain't cheap, okay? And how we do that is, and the reason we started this was about 2.5 years ago. We had somebody in raid, and that was about 2 years ago, literally got 7 BOEs in one night. And Morpho was like, okay, that we got to fix this now. There can't be one person out of 20 got 7 BOEs. That's insane. So him and I went round and round for weeks, and this is what we came up with. We turned the BOEs into myself or Zeke, and if you'll be declaring your stat priorities for your main spec. And if it is a proper stat upgrade and it makes sense, not because it's two wonky stats, your third and fourth stat, but because it's 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, then at the end of the night, if you haven't got anything else that was an upgrade, you'll be allowed to roll on it. If you win the roll, you have to equip it. Okay. If nobody needs it, then we are going to put it on the auction, and that helps pay for the massive amount of money that this guild spends to keep you guys from having to go farm shit and me asking you going, hey, I need 200 midnight salmon by next week, or I need 1,000 anchorweed. It stops me from having to bug our raiders from doing that stuff, so you guys can enjoy the game, run keys, raid, work on alts, spend time with your families, whatever you do with your time. Okay. If you don't have a family, sorry, you can hang out with OP. Okay.
Hey,
He'll adopt you. All right. So that's the BOE program, but no longer is it going to be roll immediately, stop the group, because too many times the BOE's been equipped, and then it's and then the next boss, that person's getting a better upgrade, and it's a waste of the BOE. So we're going to hold it to tonight. Enough said on that. I'll probably just type up a little something about it and put it in one of these special channels Light made up here. So, and then the bank, if you got stuff you want to sell to us, I'm always buying stuff for the guild bank. So when we started this, we started with about 4.3 million. We're down to about 1.4, and I probably got about 300K in BOEs to sell. But we have like 34 cauldrons right now. We haven't got the pre-pots. We probably have 2,000 anchorweed still in the bank. We're probably ready to go on all the chants. I mean, the thing's stuffed to the hill. So everything's there. It's ready to go. Also, we're going to do for ring and chants, we'll provide the 37 stats instead of the 27 stats on the chants. If it's, what did we say, 410, Zeke? Was it 410?
Yeah.
Or 405?
Either or is fine.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give you a 37 stat if it's a sweet ring. Okay. So if we don't have it at that point, we'll get you a 27. They don't cost nothing to make those. We'll get you a 37. Attendance. If you're part of the core progression group, and we're going to talk about what we're trying to do here, we're talking about being on a little bit more the first week, second week, maybe third week, and then I'll bleed in the Sunday run again. And when I see what it is, and I may need some people to volunteer to tank that and stuff, or we might have to pug, we'll bleed some of these sub raiders back in. But I put your mini map up there has the calendar, and if you can accept, decline, tentative, and if you can't do that because you just don't have that set up right because it conflicts with an add-on, just message me, not Zeke, message me directly in Discord. I will take care of it. I work from home. I'm in front of my computer pretty much all day, minus except when I'm walking my 3 dogs, working out, eating lunch, or going to a meeting. So other than that, I'm pretty much available all the time. So, and this is my slow time of the year. I just got done with my busiest time of the year. We're still recruiting a little bit. And our biggest gap right now is probably healers. And we'll get that sorted out. So if not, we may be doing tryout and plug somebody in, and if they suck, they may have to go after the first pull. Okay, yeah, you got horse 2.0. I see that. And then keys. L's and rocks are big on running keys. So you got 2 tanks in the guild that love to run keys. Okay, and I'm going to encourage everybody. I posted this. You should look at this at your own time. I don't want to cover it during the meeting, but you guys need to be running keys, and you need to get in that habit of, I've got to get a high key done every week. Okay, you're just going to have to get there, and we'll help you do it. We will help you. We don't want to run 5 keys or 2 keys, on your third alt. We want to get your 10, 11, or 12 key done is what we want to do. And some of you may just not be there yet, and maybe it's a 9 key, but we need to get keys done, and we need to get high keys done, and there's beneficial reasons to everybody. Other than that, I like the way we've rebuilt the raid group over the last 90 days. I like all the people have come on board. We get a lot of compliments. People are checking you guys out, checking your logs out. This is a good group of people. And a lot of the wacky shit that was going on, 4 or 5 months ago, those people are gone, and I think we're better for it in the long run. It may not be as yippy yap talkative all the time in Discord when we're raiding, but I think from us getting raids down to a reasonable amount of time every night, I think we're in better shape and we got better people. And I'll take this over the old group any day, the 7 or 8 that left. So that's all I got. And I'm just looking forward to Tuesday.
Same. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over plans real quick for next week and like the next 3 or so weeks for raiding. So on Tuesday, we're gonna start on normal. And my plans for normal is to at least do 7 out of 9. That's pretty reasonable for normal, especially with this raid group. Honestly, in 3.5 hours, we can do 9 out of 9 if we can full clear it. But I'm not going to make a super high expectation like that because I haven't seen the full raid. I've seen a lot of it, but there could just be that one boss that might be overtuned or something that we might just get stuck on for 30 minutes. But ideally, first night on Tuesday will be 7 out of 9 normal, which will leave us with the 2 last bosses to do Wednesday night. And then so on Wednesday night, what we're going to do is, depending on which bosses are left on normal, we're going to go finish those 2. Hopefully, it's just Jaina. Hopefully, we can go 8 out of 9 on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, we can just spend 45 minutes on Jaina, kill that, be done with it, and then start heroic progression. That's the ideal plan. And then for about a month and a half, or ideally until progress is over, we're going to be raiding every Friday night for just 2 hours. And the reason that we're going to be raiding on Friday night...
For how long, Zeke?
For 2 hours. Just for 2 hours.
Sorry, you cut off there at 2. Okay, 2 hours. What'd you say?
Yeah, it's only 2 hours. And the reason for raiding on Friday is just in case there's a boss or 2 that we know we can put down. Or if there's a boss that we just need to spend time on, maybe an hour or so, we can come in on Friday and knock it out. And we're also not going to be doing Sundays until about a month and a half later. So
maybe sooner if things are too easy. I might put it up the 3rd or 4th week, just so you get.
Yeah. So eventually Fridays will be gone, and it will just be Tuesday, Wednesday, Sundays. And then as far as the second week goes, we should be able to go 9 out of 9 on Tuesday for normal. So the week after the raid comes out, we should be able to full re-clear normal in one night. Shouldn't be a problem as long as everyone's there. And then we're just going to straight up just keep pushing heroic progression until we're done. And then the third week, we're going to do the same thing. We're probably going to clear normal one more time for the third week just because the Azurite gear is so valuable. But then the third week, we might not even do normal. We just might do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, full on heroic if we're close just to getting AOTC. But with this group, we should honestly get AOTC pretty quickly. If you think back to Old Year, even just for doing normal that first week, for the people that were there, they're still here. we didn't kill normal Cahoon until Friday. And that's just because on Wednesdays, Zul's always a bitch, so we struggled on Zul, and then we killed Mithrax on Wednesday night, and then we went to do Cahoon, and then we just didn't have the right comp, right strategy until Friday. That won't be the same thing with this raid. I've tested Jaina, and Jaina doesn't require 4 Warlocks. It doesn't require a bunch of classes with a ton of mobility. It's just a really good bounce fight. So there's like no raid requirements that are going to be getting in the way. So ideally, hopefully, Heroic's done within a month, month and a half, maybe sooner, depending on how things go. And then next topic would just be Mythic rating. So me personally, the last 2 years, I'm kind of at that point where Heroic's a little stale for me, because ideally what happens is we full clear Heroic and we put it on farm, and then people just quit the game or stop playing because there's nothing to do. Because we're not pushing higher content, we're not doing anything else, we're just strictly clearing Heroic every week, and there's not really much skill that goes into that after you've killed these bosses 5 or more times. So me personally, I think that eventually once we get Heroic on farm and we have the right committed 20 for Mythic, I think 1 or 2 nights a week we should try Mythic progression. I think the first 3 bosses are 100% doable, just like in Uldir, first 2 are really easy. The first 2 on Mythic and the new raid are also pretty easy, but I honestly think we can kill 3rd or 4th boss. And the first 4 bosses on Mythic drop Azurite gear, right? So the first boss drops like helmet or something, second boss drops chest piece, and then third boss drops shoulders. So clearing the first 3 on Mythic, there's weapons, trinkets, and Azurite gear to be had, all on 415 item level that can then potentially Titan Forge to 425.
Nice. I'm looking at it. It's very nice.
So, and I know for me personally and for other people, like my best in slot weapon comes off the second boss. There's a 2-handed sword that comes off the first boss, and I think there's a dagger on the 4th boss, and I think the 3rd boss has like a warglaive or something. So there's like a weapon ideally for every class, right? And trinkets. There's agility trinket, intellect trinket, healing and DPS, and strength trinkets, tanking and healing, or tanking and DPSing for the first 4. So ideally on Mythic, if we can just do some really basic progression, not like super push it, but get to the point where we can put these bosses down every week, we can get some people really nice loot, right? But the problem with doing Mythic is that we won't be able to pug it for a while, because I guess no one raids on Alliance, and I think Blizzard's keeping the requirement where 100 Alliance guilds need to kill Mythic Jaina before we can server pug Mythic, and that could take a while. I think in Uldir it took like 2 months for Alliance to get 100 kills, and it only took Horde like a month and like half that time. So if we want to do Mythic quickly, we really need to have 20 committed people that are going to commit to this day and not just not show up. Because if we're sitting at 19 waiting for that one person, like let's say OP is that one person that says they're going to be there but ends up not showing up, we can't do Mythic because we don't have anyone else we can bring in. So it's really important that we can get the commitment to do Mythic. But go ahead, Ors.
Why'd you bring up OP as an example? Oh, just kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
Roasted.
Yeah, like he's every.
Yeah, I mean, even Scoop can say that it's going to take Alliance like a month or 2 to get 100 kills, so because he Mythic rates on.
I think this one's going to be easier, so might be a little faster, but yeah, it's still going to take a while.
Cool. And then we can also get help on Mythic too. Scoop's able to come in because Scoop is going to be pushing Mythic rating, and Scoop's like 6 out of 9 Mythic, and we're on the first boss. I'm sure Scoop has 1 day available to come help us out and give us some insight. So we always have outside help coming in as well. Wrong?
I'm just kidding.
Oh no. But yeah, but so far, that's the plans for Mythic. If you're a part of the core raid team, you're just not interested in Mythic, you don't want to touch it, don't want to commit to it, don't want to do it, just send me or Horace a message in Discord and we'll handle that. But then we can also be recruiting more people at the same time to where we can actually have just a separate Mythic team and then our normal core Heroic team that clears Heroic every week. We can also get to that point as well. And then tomorrow, if anyone's interested, this isn't required. Tomorrow around the same time, I'm just going to be in Discord and I'm just going to be over going I'm going to be going over all the fights in the new raid on normal and heroic, and I'm going to be like strategizing, coming up with strategies, just so I can be a little bit more prepared as a raid leader when we go into the raid. So if anyone wants to join me for that, if that would be tomorrow, same time, and I'll also be watching videos as well. If anyone wants to come join. And then the last thing I want to talk about is during this raid tier, we're going to have another raid coming out, and it's pretty much the Trial of Valor of this expansion. It's called Crucible of Storms, and it's a 2-boss raid. I don't know what item level the gear is or anything like that, but I would assume this raid's probably going to come out March, April. So we'll also be getting another raid while we're doing the other raid. So that might conflict with doing Mythic and a couple other things, but I just didn't know if some people didn't know about that. But we will be getting a mini raid during this raid before we get the Ashara raid, if that makes sense. So we'll be pretty much doing Desire lore probably one day a week and going full progression on Crucible of Storms, which is what's going to end up happening. And that's it for me. I mean, any questions?
Well, yeah, hold on the questions. I got a couple things I want to just tap on real quick, and then you might have forgot something too, so look your notes over. But the Mythic, before you guys say no to it, go look at the gear and think about it. And then wait till after Tuesday and Wednesday, after you get to see these fights and how hard or not hard they are in normal and heroic, and then make your evaluation, because it may not take 100 pulls. And just evaluate us as a group, yourself, and your available time, and look at the gear and say, you know what, I might be in on that. So I'm just, before anybody gets, oh God, I don't want to be part of a Mythic deal, or I do want to be part, get a full picture of everything in the next 72 hours. Okay. And then mains, when you start rating on your main, especially in the progression group, I don't want people switching. I don't think I have any switchers in here. Which means like, oh, I don't want to play this thing, it sucks, I'm going to go grab my other tune. And once we start working together as a team and gearing tunes up, I don't want people jump switching and saying, I'm bringing this one tonight, unless you're a multi-versatile tank or something, like Els, he's got one tank of everything, okay, and they're all geared. So then I don't have to. He's like, you know what, you need my Death Knight for this fight, not my Demon Hunter. Okay, I get it. So, and then anybody in this guild can invite somebody to the guild, just so you guys know. And if you do invite somebody, just ask that you put notes in there, so we know who they are. And I got an add-on that tells me that you invited them. And then we're still recruiting. So, feel free, if you run into some good people and they're looking, we're always recruiting. And then don't forget that looking at this tier set, this tier with this Azurite gear, understand that, it goes like 15, 30, what's it, 34, 38, 42. And there's like 5 levels of the Azurite gear. If you guys haven't looked, you need to start looking at your dungeon journal and start taking a look at this stuff. Most of you probably have. I shouldn't even be bringing this up, but in case you had forgotten or hadn't looked at it yet, you should. And getting your Azurite stuff, having 28 in Azurite ain't going to work. You're going to be like, shit, I got to get some done. And I can tell you for a fact that Chica and I both know that, it's hard. Once you start getting about 38, 39, it's a freaking pain in the ass to go from 39 to 40 and 40 to 41. We know this because we're there.
Yeah, artifact knowledge will be kicking back into next week. So
that's good. It's good stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on those things. And then pretty much Seek's the raid leader. So kind of it's what he says goes, unless he's just totally on tilt or something, and then I'll have a side conversation. But I don't think that's ever been the case. So it's just one of these things that we just need to go smooth and hard, and we're going to go hard the first 2-3 weeks here, and everybody should just be prepared for that, and hopefully you got the time for it. If you can't make it, just let us know. It's not, I'm not, this isn't, now if you can't make it for like 4 weeks, that we need to have a different conversation. So, but just glad to have everybody. I like the group. I like the personalities. I feel good about it.
Yeah, and then yeah, I was looking at raid roster too, and you normally like the previous couple raids, you can look at the raid roster and be like, okay, here's our 2 to 3 weakest players, right? And they're really obvious to point out. But I'm looking at our raid roster, and I can't point out a single person. I can mute that. All right.
Mute that. Who is that?
That was Els.
Okay. Just go ahead.
But I was looking at our raid roster, and I'm like, I can't really point out anybody that's like the obvious, you know. Like, I'm actually just so excited for this raid roster. I just feel like everyone's just gonna be just hardcore pumping on every single boss, and we're just gonna like just destroy the content. But that might be some overconfidence a little bit there. But just like based off what I'm seeing, like this raid group is gonna be straight up pumping, like straight up. So.
Straight up pumping, like straight up.
Yep. Minus OP. OP never pumps. So.
Hardcore pumping.
You right.
Quote of the day. I'm still laughing.
Did somebody say pumping?
Hardcore pumping.
Yeah. Pumping the deeps, pumping the HPS. I don't know how tanks pump though.
They pump the biceps like coming day and night.
If you see something you need, if you need something on pre-pots or you need an enchant, don't go spend the money. I mean, just ask us.
Well, it does cost 50 copper if you ask OP for anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring the mailbox to raid if you're an engineer, please. We got to send OP some shit.
Oh, one more thing that I forgot. On Tuesday, I would like to start raid like 15 to 20 minutes earlier. I don't know how people feel about that, but just an idea. It might be a little late to talk about it, but while everyone's here, I was instead of starting raid at like 6:45, I was thinking starting raid at like 6:20, 6:25. So
I got 5:30 on the schedule is what I have. If you guys can start marking this, if you're tentative, put tentative, and just so you guys know, we got things going on. We got Kugels, you there? Finch, you there?
I am.
Did you have a baby yet, or your wife have a kid yet, or what, man?
We did.
Congratulations, boy or girl?
Boy.
Congratulations, bro. Is that your first baby or no?
Yeah, it was. It was a rodeo. So we're better now.
Good. Everything, baby healthy. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything is now.
Yeah, we got others. Sometimes we have people working or they're traveling. I get that. Like we've got Coley's in here on Flick. That's his mage. He works at Blizzard, so there's going to be times when he has to go do an event and he just can't raid. And then you've got like Els. I think Els is closing on the house next week, and he doesn't have a choice on the closing date. It is what it is. So if he's not at raid, it's these things are going to happen, guys. Life things are always going to come up, and we're not inflexible to those things as a guild and as a raid team. I'm never inflexible to it. So
just communicating about it is pretty. If
yeah,
you know about something.
I mean, it's no different than Scoop tells me like 2 months ago or something. Hey, I'm going to take my tank out of the guild and I need him on on the horde side or whatever it was. He said, but I'm leaving this one in. I mean, we always have short communications about making adjustments and changing. It's never a hard conversation with me. When it's a hard conversation is when somebody just doesn't say anything, and then it's like, okay, I'm ready to come back, and it's like, wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about?
You shouldn't have to be worried. Like if you're gonna miss a week, you shouldn't have to worry about like losing your raid spot or anything either. Like if you miss a week, you miss a week. Like it's just the way it goes.
And some of you are new to us. Scoop main tanked for us for a year. Okay, when we were running 4 nights a week and stuff, some people have just earned their leadership in this guild based upon all the things they've done, and some of you are on the path to being moved up too. So I mean, for us, it's it's consistent. And if you guys all think I'm wrong about something, just say so. I may not change my mind, but it's okay.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What'd you say?
Oh.
Huh? Speak up, huh? Speak up.
Oh, I spoke my mind plenty of times.
Are we talking about Voldemort?
Talking about the roaches.
I mean, OP is the only roach that we still have.
You're right.
He's like you got the neighbor's canary or not canary parrot, and he's got to say the same shit over and over sometimes. Right, OP?
I was thinking I was more like a stray cat. That's like
Like we'll be raiding
What?
and OP OP won't be in raid, and he'll jump in Discord right in the middle of the boss fight and say something.
I think he's more like a cockatoo.
Cockatoo. There you go. Speaking of cockatoos, where the fuck is Omai at tonight?
Omai's like OP. They never commit to anything.
He's probably on some hike or something. Anyways, and if you guys are ever in Denver, the Denver area or Front Range of Colorado or up in the ski resort, so I'll come have lunch with you.
Me too, because I live here too. Well, I think everyone knows that. Never mind.
That's it. That's it. Anybody got questions, suggestions, ideas? Now's the time.
I think half of everybody's on mute, so I think we're good.
Yeah, I got a quick question about the, you were talking about the preferred stats that we'll be posting. Do we post those on our comments for our tunes?
That's not a bad idea. Put it in guild note, like Windwalker, Monk, Crit, Haste, or whatever it is. I don't know. It's not a bad idea, actually. We can do that.
Yeah, and sometimes those things change based on your stats, too.
Yeah, in everyone's guild note, you should be always updating your item level, like, all the time. If you go up 5 item levels, just put it in your guild note, put your main spec. Like for Kugels, it can just be Shadow Priest and then 2 stats, Haste, Crit, whatever it is, and then we'll know. Is that it, Dan?
I'm sorry.
Yes, my son.
Somebody was messaging me. I was responding to them. Yeah, as far as the stat priority thing, you can just message me directly in Discord, not in open channel, and then I will mark it. You know, so if you're playing a mage, arcane, or boomy, or whatever you guys play, rogues, you know, there's 3 different classes there. Hunters, you know, there's just 1 button, right, Gertie, or is it 2?
Pretty much. It's all on my mouse wheel. So
okay,
yeah.
plus your macros for Omai, I know. Horse is getting ready to die. You know, I know the macro. Okay.
He has that old Nintendo headset. He just says fire, fire, fire.
Now, Gertie's got a macro that he sends to Omai. He says Angel Ink, and that means horse is getting ready to die. They've had it for 2 years now. Don't think I don't know these things. But I think just send it to me and I'll add it to the list. I may put this on a doc so everybody can see it. And some of you are multi-talented and versed on your alts, so you know if somebody's wrong on what they're rolling on something just because it might be a 420 and they're like, oh, I gotta have that. Okay, not if it's the wrong stats. You don't have to have that. So, and you may see me, you know, pass on gear if it's improving, you know, somebody else in the raid too. So it won't be the first time. So, anyways, run keys.
Yeah, keys are super important next season, so.
And don't waste your Titan stuff. What's that called? Titan or whatever it is.
Titan Residuum.
Yeah, I posted that link just recently a second time again. Don't waste your stuff, you know, on old gear. You want to be getting on the newer gear or the heroic or something. Don't go buy a 385 piece today, as you're just wasting it. So, but I can assure you there are 2 tanks in this guild that love to run keys. So, fair enough.
Fair enough. All right, I think that's it. Unless anyone else has anything to say.
Who wants to run a key?
I mean, are you gonna put me in a group with 3 other shamans again, huh?
No.
Yeah, boy.
I do need a tank to run a key with Zorus though, so he can be put under a little bit of stress and get used to running keys as a healer. He's a good player, so I need somebody.
You wanted to go Ellie, right?
Tanks.
What did you just say to me?
Didn't you want to do Ellie?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
He did, yeah. We
finished
a 10 King's Rest on time with me healing.
Got OP, you got me, you got that guy.
That guy.
All right, I think that's it though. So
good stuff. Make sure you guys watch the videos and stuff too that are going to get posted.
Tomorrow, I'll be doing it at the same time. I'll be here tomorrow, and I can watch the videos with everybody, go over strats. So that's optional though.
So, good stuff.
I also need new friends.
All right, I'm AFK for a little bit. I gotta go check on my roast beef in the oven here.
Pass me some.
All right, Yalit.
It was Zorus, right?